Hi there, and welcome to The Celeb Tea. The man behind the political transformation in Donald Trump's second administration, JD Vance now stands as the conservative vice president, a powerful position that cements his status in American politics. Yet, those who knew him before his rise to fame remember a very different man. To many of his old friends, the JD they once knew seems almost unrecognizable, a far cry from the fiery, right-leaning figure now standing beside Trump. The story of JD Vance isn't one of overnight change, but of gradual evolution. Some call it growth, others transformation. But either way, it's a fascinating shift that raises many questions about who he truly is. Take, for instance, his marriage to Usha Vance, a woman with her own remarkable background. Usha, once a registered Democrat, openly supported Hillary Clinton during the 2016 election cycle. Back then, she and JD weren't fans of Trump at all. In fact, JD was one of his loudest critics. During a 2016 interview with NPR's Terry Gross, he admitted that if Trump seemed destined to win, he might even vote for Hillary Clinton or perhaps a third-party candidate. "I won't vote for Trump," he said firmly, describing Trump as noxious and claiming he was leading the white working class to a very dark place. At that time, JD hadn't yet entered politics. He was simply an author, but a Yale Law graduate writing his breakout memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. That book, which would later define his image, painted an intimate portrait of the struggles he faced growing up in Ohio's Rust Belt. But behind the words of grit and resilience was a man with more liberal sympathies than many might imagine today. His old friends remember a version of JD who was empathetic, progressive in certain ways, and even tender-hearted. One of those friends, Sophia Nelson, a transgender woman he met at Yale Law School, remembers that compassionate side vividly. When Sophia underwent surgery, JD personally baked cookies and brought them to her. Later, she shared nearly 90 emails and text messages exchanged between 2014 and 2017 with the New York Times. Those messages revealed a JD Vance who was reflective and kind, not the politically hardened figure he has become. In one particularly moving message, JD wrote to her, "I now recognize that I may not have portrayed you in a way that reflects who you truly are. I'm very sorry if I hurt you." He signed it simply, "Love you, JD." Sophia described their friendship as warm, even when they disagreed. "The JD I knew was compassionate," she said. "We didn't always see eye to eye, but we could talk, real, not really talk, with respect." Back then, JD even expressed outrage over racial injustice. Following the 2014 police shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, he texted Sophia, "I hate the police. I can't imagine what a black man goes through." Those aren't the words one would expect from today's vice president, whose politics now lean heavily toward law and order conservatism. Sophia admits it's been painful to watch his transformation. "The man I knew, he's just gone," she said softly. "It's heartbreaking to see someone become so cold, so divisive." JD's team insists his political views shifted after becoming a father. That parenthood changed his priorities. Yet, to many who knew him before, it's clear that something more profound occurred. He went from being introspective and empathetic to pragmatic and combative, adopting a tone that often mirrors Trump's fiery populism. This evolution hasn't only affected his public life, it's influenced his marriage as well. According to relationship experts, JD and Usha's partnership faces unique pressures because of their drastically different backgrounds and the intense spotlight that comes with political fame. The two met in 2013 while studying at Yale Law School and married a year later. Usha described JD as the most fascinating person she had ever met, intelligent, intellectual, curious, and grounded despite his difficult upbringing. She built her career at a progressive law firm in San Francisco, known for its left-leaning culture, before stepping away after JD was chosen as Trump's running mate. JD's story, however, couldn't be more different from hers. Born and raised in a working-class Ohio family, his early life was shaped by chaos and instability. His mother struggled with addiction, and he was primarily raised by his tough but loving grandmother, Mama. In Hillbilly Elegy, he wrote about poverty, broken families, and an America forgotten by progress, them intelligent themes that would later define his political persona. Usha, on the other hand, grew up in a stable, middle-class household in San Diego, surrounded by strong cultural traditions and a close-knit Hindu family. Her parents, both Indian immigrants, instilled in her values of education, discipline, and compassion. Experts note that these vastly different upbringings could create challenges in their marriage, or themes, or conversely, become a source of strength if approached with understanding. Love can bridge divides, says Susan Trombetti, CEO of Exclusive Matchmaking. But when two people come from opposite worlds, culturally, emotionally, even politically, it requires constant communication and emotional maturity to make it work. Indeed, the union between JD and Usha stands as a microcosm of modern America, a blend of contrasting worlds, ideologies, and experiences trying to find balance under immense pressure. Yet, beneath the polished exterior of a power couple lies a far more complex reality. JD has often spoken candidly about his unresolved emotional struggles, lingering effects of his traumatic childhood. He admits that his upbringing left him with anger issues and a tendency toward emotional volatility. "I'm a delayed explosion," he once confessed. "Even when I'm at my best, I still carry it with me." According to Trombetti, that kind of temperament can strain even the strongest marriage. If one partner constantly plays the peacemaker, she explains, it creates a parent-child dynamic. One person calming the other, one walking on eggshells. That's not sustainable long-term. Usha, by many accounts, has become the steady presence in their home, the one who keeps things together when JD's temper flares or when political chaos spills into family life. But experts warn that too much emotional labor from one side can lead to resentment and imbalance. Beyond his emotional struggles, JD's approach to fatherhood has also drawn attention. He and Usha share 3 children, Ewan, the Vivek, and Mirabelle, but those close to them suggest JD's involvement at home isn't always consistent. During interviews, he has occasionally referred to the children as her kids, a subtle but telling phrase that some interpreted as emotional distance. Body language expert Dr. Jack Brown noted that when JD mentioned his children publicly, he often avoided using their names or even referring to himself as their father. At one 2024 campaign rally, he made an offhand joke about trading his kids for a few weeks, which, though likely intended as humor, didn't sit well with many observers, or with Usha, according to insiders. Such comments, combined with his long work hours and political responsibilities, may be contributing to tension within the family. Religion adds yet another layer to their complicated relationship. JD, who has become more devout in recent years, admitted in an interview that he feels guilty about taking Usha to church every Sunday since she never signed up to marry a weekly churchgoer. While she joins him out of respect, she hasn't converted to Christianity and sometimes feels burdened by the responsibility of managing their children during services. "She's just trying to keep them quiet while I'm focusing on worship," JD said. "I feel bad about it sometimes." His attempt to balance faith, politics, and marriage hasn't always landed smoothly. When Usha became the target of racist and xenophobic attacks online because of her Indian heritage, JD's response, though affectionate, was criticized as overly mild. He expressed admiration and love for his wife, but didn't strongly condemn the attacks. "I adore my wife," he said. "She's brilliant and beautiful, and I'm lucky to have her." Critics argued that the moment called for outrage, not tenderness. Finally, there's the matter of politics itself. As Trump's vice president, JD must publicly align with an administration whose values once clashed with both his and Usha's earlier beliefs. Usha, a registered Democrat until 2014, has remained largely silent about her current political stance. But it's hard to imagine that their ideological differences don't surface behind closed doors. When asked if she ever imagined life would lead her here, in the center of national politics, Usha laughed softly. Oh, no way. That was never part of the plan. Their journey reflects the pressures faced by many couples under public scrutiny, love tested by ideology, ambition, and identity. Whatever the future holds, one thing is certain: the evolution of JD Vance is still unfolding, and the world is watching closely.